Hello and good morning. I'm doing a video on my Enactus project. It's a project where we have to come up with an idea that will benefit either people or another country. So for my project, I'm going to be dealing with recycled clothing. I know that that's already a thing where you can donate clothing and it gets sent overseas and stuff like that. But what I want to do is when people donate the clothes, I want to refurbish them and then like if they have holes, anything like that, like fix it and just then from there see what different countries need and what they want, because a lot of countries don't want your clothing because it can get hot or cold or anything like that. And usually they don't like secondhand clothing because it's kind of like, well, why am I going to wear something that was already used and stuff like that? So that's why we want to refurbish it. So it's like new to them. So they wouldn't be able to tell that it was ever worn before or anything like that. So that kind of answers my first question, who would benefit from this project? So people who benefit from this project were people that live in those third world countries that need clothing, that don't really have the means or places to go and buy the clothing. They just kind of have to wear what they find and go from there. But me, I have the privilege of living in America where I can go to the mall and buy something. But they really don't, and it's kind of sad because sometimes when it's the winter time, they have little to nothing. So kind of is a little sad. What is a sustainability problem or challenge to be addressed by this project? So my sustainability problem that is trying to be addressed by my project is the amount of clothing waste. So I did a little research, and on average, Americans throw away 80% of clothing, which costs $45 per ton to dispose of. So we're spending a whole bunch of money to buy clothes just to go around and turn around and throw them away, which costs more to dispose of it. Also, synthetic clothing takes 100 years for it to decompose. So think of all the clothes you're throwing away. That takes 100 years for it just to decompose and break down. So that's kind of where I'm trying to come in and turn that around, because it's just going to a landfill and sitting there and decomposing, turning into nothing. 75% of pre-used clothing is recycled by the manufacturer. So that's pre-used. So no one's touched it, no one's bought it, nothing like that. So the clothes you see in stores just get thrown away at the end of the season, like it's discarded. So what I'm trying to do is save money there, and because these manufacturers are making these clothes just to go ahead and turn around and throw them all away. So I'm trying to save a step in there, to save them money, because they're putting money out to make these clothes. So what I want to do is, when it's the end of the season, these clothing stores are getting rid of clothes. I want to take them, like the pre-sold clothes even, but still take donated clothes too. And just kind of whatever those countries' needs are, we will help to find what we can bring them clothing wise, like if they need shoes, pants, anything like that. The average person buys 60% more items of clothing every year and keeps them for about half as long as 15 years. So we buy 60% of what is in clothing stores, which is good because they're making a profit. That's great because, it helps the economy, right? But in the end, it just ends up sitting in our closets anyway and collecting space, collecting dust for, like it said, 15 years. I know I have clothes from when I was, 2 years ago that I always, whenever I'm cleaning up, I'm always like, oh no, I'll wear it. I'm going to wear it sometime soon. But we end up never wearing it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I kind of just want to not be so wasteful with clothes, and I want to start off with clothes, but then maybe branch out to do different things. But right now, just start with that because that's a little bit of a big problem as well. My second question is, where will flows of goods and money and people be impacted negatively or positively by this project? So I think flows of good would be will be positive because instead of ending up just these clothing stores end up throwing their clothes away, they'll be doing good with it. They'll be giving it to someone. They'll be going to use. So it's not like they're just throwing it away at the end of the day. So they can kind of somewhat make a profit from it. People I feel like will be impacted in a positive way because they'll be getting new clothing and be able to be warm and wear shoes and socks and stuff like that. So I think that would be a positive effect on them. Even though they have a lot more to worry about than just clothing, but at least it's something that they can have one less worry about, being warm instead of worrying about when that they're freezing. They have stuff that they can actually put on and be warm, or you know what I mean. How will the project address the sustainability problem or challenge? I think it will address the sustainability problem because it's a lot of waste, and people don't really realize that how much waste they do when they get throw away their clothes. I'm sure if I asked someone, they wouldn't know that 75% of pre-sold clothes don't get, they just discard them. So I feel like if I asked someone that, they wouldn't know. So I just feel like it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and I mean, obviously it's not a top priority because it's clothing, and you know what I mean. I mean, people do need clothing, but it's not like a top issue in third world countries where they don't have clean drinking water. But I feel like if I can just give them one less thing to worry about, that it will be a step in the right direction. So that is my Enactus project. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me. Yeah, so that's my project. Thank you. Have a good day.